asked about Kenny Johnson a lot, probably since you got here. But I mean, what just in these last 4 games, what have you seen as far as how he's connected with Mason and just how he's played overall?
Kenny doing a great job, just being a student of the game, getting in here, watching a lot of film. They come back later on with Mason and watch film with each other as well. So to be able to get on the same page, know what they're looking for, know what they expect, and different things like that. He's doing a great job of preparing and being able to prepare for the games and stuff like that. So those things like that is huge, for the quarterback and the receiver to be all on the same page, watching film together and different things like that. So he's doing a great job doing that.
Off the field, the mental side of the game been where Kenny's improved the most since you've gotten home?
Oh, yeah. Like Kenny, he does a great job of, being coachable, listening to what we saying, being able to run routes a certain way, how we want him, getting his depth and different things like that. But he also, asks questions so he can understand and run the route just as way that we want. And that's what we like. We'll be able to conversate and have a talk about, this route, why we want at this depth, why we want to make sure, sell it with our head and eyes and different things like that. And he's doing a great job, just being a student of the game, being a route technician, and being able to take his game to that next level.
How did Zion do in your eyes once he stepped in for Kenny the second time?
Zion, is he's just work in progress. He's just got to continue to keep working, be more consistent. When he get in there, he play hard. He just had that one incident, in the red zone. Only thing is, wish he would have just, win the leverage battle and jumped inside on the slant route. Kind of went outside, but that's why I'm here. I'm here to coach. I'm here to develop those guys and get those guys better, so they can understand at certain situations like that how we can attack and how we can execute at a high level. And like I said, I'm gonna keep working with him. Just keep working and grinding.
I think it's a little boom bust sometimes. It's not super ball, not catching the ball all the time, and then he's played like he is on Saturday, where he's catching 85-yard touchdown. But what do you see from him? I guess when the ball's not in his way, when it's doing well, or does he?
Well, he does a great job, blocking, helping out, making sure. I tell those guys all the time, O-line block for first down, wide receivers, they block for touchdown. So we usually have that touchdown block where you got to go ahead and give a lot of effort to go cut people off. He does a great job of that. Also, a couple of times he be winning, and sometimes the ball doesn't come his way. But I always tell all my guys, don't press about getting the ball. Just do your job and let the game come to you. And then whenever it's your time to make that play, go up and execute and make that play.
The tight ends have been pretty involved in the pass game this year. Just how much does that open things up with your guys? Just defenses having to worry about more targets or more guys just with the tight ends.
Oh yeah, it helps out the whole offense. When the tight ends get open and be able to get the ball, the running backs be able to get into the passing game. It opens up the whole offense. So now, most defense got to worry about not just one group as just the receivers. They got to worry about the tight ends. They got to worry about the running backs and different things like that. So hope is open up our offense as a whole, and those guys are doing a great job as well.
Coming into the season, you really were emphasizing yards after the catch. Here on the stat sheet, it says you guys have 189 yards after the catch. This past game, it was pretty evident with Kenny, and obviously blew his big touchdown pass. But how pleased have you been with that element of the game so far? Well,
I'm never going to be pleased. I always, critique the little things. We can get better. There's a lot of room of improvement that we can do, but they are making strides and they are doing the things that we asking them to do. I just got to keep on harping on them to understand, hey, get yak, create more explosion plays and different things like that, and they will. They just got to keep taking it one play at a time, execute, and go out there and make the play.
Is that more of a mentality thing to try to pick up those yards after catch, after taking on contact and stuff like that?
Yes, some of it's mentality, some of it timing. Timing with the quarterback and the receiver, little things like that, where you can catch it in that window so you can catch and go and get a tight turn without, sitting in the hole waiting for the ball, different things like that. So it's got a lot of factors into it, but also, just being tough and being able to catch it and get vertical and, have that mindset of anytime I have that ball, I'm trying to score. So not just trying to catch it and fall down, trying to catch it and score.
During training camp,
what's been your assessment of how Poppy's played this season, especially over his last few weeks?
Poppy doing well. He's doing a great job being a leader in that room, holding guys accountable, holding himself accountable. I be hard on him a lot. That's one of the areas I want him to work on, is getting yak as well. But he's doing a great job, making some tough catches for us and everything like that. So he's doing a great job for us.
Kind of tying into yards after catch, but during training camp, feel like every offensive player we talked to spoke about wanting to generate more explosive plays this season. And so far it seemed like your guys as an offense have been able to do that. I think even against, even last week, there were 6 or 7 guys who had a catch of at least 15 or so yards. Just, have you been pleased so far just with those explosive plays? You feel like that's something that you're making strides in this year?
Yes, I like the fact that we are making strides, but I still want us, take some of those 15-yard catches and with the yak in there to take it a little bit to distance. In the fall camp, we came up with a goal as a unit of things that we need to try to get better, and that's one of them. Being able to create explosive plays, yards at the catch, being able to block on the perimeter and be a factor into the run game and different things like that. So by having a goal in camp and working towards that goal in camp, and now being able to see that stuff and we meet that goal and continue to improve throughout the season is very well pleased, very well pleased.
A few weeks ago, you talked to us about the rotation within the receiver room and how you need to trust the guys, and it's not going to be giving out like participation trophies and stuff like that. Where is it at now, a few weeks later, within the rotation within that room?
Well, guys are, taking practice serious, being able to hone in on the things that we asking them to do, plays, understanding the alignment and assignment and different things like that. And, those guys are up for the challenge. I can say one thing about them guys in my group, the receiver group, those guys are competitors. And anytime I challenge those guys, they're always going to rise to the occasion. And I trust those guys and knowing that they're going to go out there and produce. And, some of the guys got into the game early because I was able to trust. Bryce Yates, one of them. I was able to throw him out there, Deuce Spann, some of those guys there. So I'm going to continue to work with those guys, throughout Monday all the way to Friday to making sure they're prepared, to make sure they know what their alignment and their assignment, and then let them go on Saturday. That's when Saturday is. It's tough Monday through Friday. That's where the hard work go in. That's when I'm going to be tough on you, hard on you. But then on Saturdays, that's when I let them just play loose and go have fun.
What made you want to bring Sincerely back for that game?
Well, we're starting to, bring him back. He's starting to get back to where we want him to be. He's still a little bit rusty right now, and, it's part of it, but I believe that he will get back on track. The reason is, we just want to make sure that we have a lot of guys and a lot of guys ready to play just in case, something happens. So we just want to make sure we have guys prepared and ready just in case if we need to go ahead and put one in.
If the goal is to get him that red shirt, will you have to pick and choose, like you can't play all the remaining regular season
Correct.
games, right? Well, you have to just kind of play that by ear? Or?
Yeah, play it by ear, see how the rest of the season go. Our biggest thing is, our goal is to win championship, so we're going to make sure we put each guy in position to win championship. Don't matter what's going on. We're just going to make sure that we understand our main goal, our main focus is to win the championship. So if he can help us out and play us some conference games for us, then we're going to play them.
What kind of challenges can your receivers and the offense expect this weekend?
Well, Stanford, they do a great job on the back end, they try to mix things up and things like that. But I tell my guys every week, don't worry about the opponent, worry about us. We got to focus on us, focus on our alignment, focus on our assignment, how we can execute and be able to execute at a high level. If we do that, we'll be fine. So like I tell those guys, just hone on us, focus on the little things, the details. Let's get better each week, and Saturday, we'll have a victorious weekend.
Good. Thanks, Coach.
Hey, I appreciate you guys.